on, guys? DemiGodReviews here. Now, we're just getting off the tail end of the Video Game Awards. It ended about like 20-25 minutes ago tops. And I just wanted to share my thoughts real quick, talk about the things that I need to talk about. And I gotta say, it was a great show. The Video Game Awards have improved completely from the first time that it aired, and now it's getting even better than the previous years to come. I will say it takes a bit too long to get to certain points sometimes. It stutters and just takes way too long to hit to the point, but when it gets there, it gets there. Now, with this year, I felt like it was transitioning really well. It was getting to the points that it needs to make and really hitting and really just nailing down the things that it needs to nail down on. Some of the speeches even shocked me because I thought the speech would be a bit more longer, but they actually got to the point and was just back and forth, and really got through them. Now, I will say some of the commercials were a bit long, but I know why, because of advertisement money and things of that nature. But some of the transitions could have been way better. Like, I feel like there was way too much focus on the orchestral things on this time around. Yeah, the soundtracks for these games are amazing, but if we're taking way too long to get to the actual point of things within the actual show, I feel like the orchestra shouldn't take up at least 30 minutes of the show. But every game that we had, really, it was just at least like 5 to 10 minutes of orchestra. Red Dead, orchestra. Devil May Cry, we had a band play that. For Game of the Year nomination, we had an orchestra, which is cool, but come on, let's get to the actual point. Now, I will say this. For some of the games that were nominated this year in certain categories, I feel like they shouldn't have been nominated in certain categories. Like Red Dead Redemption had best game sound and best soundtrack. Now, like I said in my review that you can see right here, the audio of RDR2 is considerably the best part of the game. With the audio in this game, the soundtrack is phenomenal. Like I said in my review, yeah, it may have had a phenomenal soundtrack, and I really rated the audio a 5 out of 5. But for the most part, simply, I really had to say that what was in the actual category for audio and best game sound, it should have beat out Red Dead, honestly. Yeah, for what it had for narrative and vocal performance, amazing, top notch. I completely agree. But for everything else, I felt like they were kind of just giving Red Dead an award instead of just letting it earn it specifically. Now, when it comes to other things, like other categories and other games, shout out to Dead Cells and Celeste for winning what they won. I'm always here to see the indie games do proudly, and I salute every time I see an indie game win, because indie games are love, they are life, and if anybody watches the channel, but the people that do watch the channel, for the people that watch me on Twitch also, you know that I get down with the indies. I love indie games. The Video Game Awards was good this year. Really great announcements. I felt like some of them announcements could have really just slated by and announced what platform it was on. That was the one issue that I had with some of these awards, well, some of these announcements, that they didn't say what platform it was on. It was basically, hey, go to this website to check out what we're going to be doing and what's this. I don't want to have to check out anything if I feel like, you know, it should just be on the platform, or you should just announce a platform instead of having me go to this website to check it out. Now, there's one thing I want to talk about also. One major thing that I have to talk. We're going to talk about it. We're going to address it, because honestly, if you were watching what I was watching, and I'm pretty much sure we were both watching the same thing, Spider-Man got snuffed. And I don't mean like snuffed, like it's over with. Spider-Man got buried. It got nothing out of this. Nothing. Yes, God of War is a fantastic game. I salute that game. I actually enjoyed that game. That was like my first 5 out of 5 this year. But God, Spider-Man got snuffed. Detroit got snuffed. Those games didn't get anything, and I think Spider-Man got the worst out of it, because that game was hyped, had the Marvel back, and had everything behind it, but it got nothing. That was a phenomenal game this year, and I expected it to actually win something, but that game got nothing out of it. And I actually feel bad for that game. In all honesty, I feel extremely bad for that game, because Spider-Man got nothing out the scenario. Dead Cells won something, Celeste won something, Red Dead won something, God of War won something, Astro Bot won something. There was plenty of games that won something, but Spider-Man went home empty-handed, and I kind of feel bad for Insomniac and everybody else included. So, with that being said, let's talk about the actual game of the year here. Let's talk about the actual game of the year, which is God of War won Game of the Year. Surprisingly, Well, not really surprisingly, because I felt like it deserved it. Cory Barlog and his team did an amazing job with it, and they did their thing with that game. I honestly thought Red Dead or Spider-Man was going to take that, because Red Dead was sweeping in the awards, and I really thought this was going to be the Red Dead show. And I honestly thought Spider-Man was going to win something out of it, but Spider-Man won nothing, like I just previously stated. And Red Dead already had 4 awards secured in the bag. So I felt like God of War had to win something. If I had to rework that list, honestly, Detroit should have been on that list, and I felt like something should have been taken off of it. I feel like games that are closer to the more of the month should not be on that list completely, at all, totally, not at all. I feel like games that's more closer to the video game awards should like not be on this list. While Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Red Dead Redemption 2 are phenomenal games, especially Red Dead, I can't really like let it be on a part of this list because it was closer to the video game awards and people really haven't had the time to just fully sit down and digest what it was doing just because. Now, I'm not going to take anything away from it because, like I said, Red Dead is a phenomenal game. It does its job narratively and character pulling and the voices and everything well. I can't take anything away from that. I'm not going to take anything away from Assassin's Creed Odyssey either, but I feel like those two are games that just came out. They aren't easy to digest just yet because they're both open world, and it's going to take a lot of time to sink your teeth in and really get into it. Now, I won't take anything away from it, but like I said, I feel like those shouldn't have been that close to the actual like Game of the Year. And I feel like some of the Game of the Year nominations should have been reworked. I feel like Detroit deserved a spot up there, because that game was phenomenal. It did a great job. It branched out the choices, great narrative, great story. And honestly, I felt like, personally, while God of War is a great game, like I said, I feel like Spider-Man should have taken it because it was way, way better than God of War. That's my personal opinion, guys. Relax. And while Spider-Man isn't my personal game of the year, I'm going to ask you guys, while we close out this video, what is your personal game of the year? Did it win Game of the Year? Was it on this list? And if it was, let me know in the comment section below. Tell me, what is your Game of the Year? My Game of the Year is Yakuza 6. Amazing story, phenomenal game. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Video Game Awards, and let me know your personal Game of the Year in the comment section below also. Also, before we go, Psychonauts 2, I'm ready. Cue the music!